All right, I'm here. Just signed on. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. I had some tech issues and had to restart my computer, but we are up and running. Hello. Let me close these curtains. All right. Hi, everybody. Let me also, I'm so glad you guys are here. I also need to go live in my closed Facebook group like I promised. So those of you joining my webinar, many of you are, you've been in my circle for a minute. And I also have a group of clients that are working on creating their first virtual program. So they're getting this training as well. So let me make sure I'm live in that group, and we'll get started. If you are joining me live, say hello and let me know why you decided to join me for this 5-day potent profitability project. I know that's a mouthful. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to share this information. And I also wanted to make sure that everyone who joined me, this was an invitation only event. So it's not a big event. I really want to support you and hold your hand along these 5 days. Let me do just a few things on my tech end, and then we will get started. Shara is here. She wants to grow and expand. I love it. Who else? So bear with me just 1 second and we'll get started. I'm excited to take you on these 5 days. Would also love to know where you are with your online business. Is it just an idea, or is it actually happening? One second. I need to redo this. I'm not having the best tech luck today. I'm very, very sorry. One thing you'll know when you start doing Zoom meetings is there's an awesome feature that lets you go live in your Facebook groups using your Zoom webinar feature. It is a $40 a month upcharge, but I love it because I can really be in 2 places at once, and the lives save automatically. So if you ever have anything going on with your computer, the lives, like the recording, will be there. Almost done, I promise. And then I'll be able to focus. Thank you for your patience. Make sure while you're waiting on me, you grab a notebook. And once I get started, I'm hoping that this will only take about 30 minutes to share my potent information with you today. Right. We'll go live anyways. And here I come to support you. All right, thank you so much for your patience. Welcome to the 5-day Potent Profitability Project. I am excited you're here. I'm excited to take you on this amazing journey. We're going to go really deep. I'm going to get vulnerable with you. I'm going to share all the things that I learned to have my very best month last month in the online world. This was the first time that I collected more than $10,000, made more than $10,000 in sales in less than 30 days. May was the month that I did that. I've been dabbling in the online world for about 4 years. And so I'm excited to share what has worked, what hasn't, and that 4-year window of a lot of trial and error. I'm going to sum it up and share with you what worked, what didn't work, so that you can take these tips and do the same thing in your life and business. Now, what I also want to share is the messages that you hear today are not all about like the steps that I took. A lot of it was the internal work that I have done to work on myself, my spirituality, and really discover what it was that I was meant to do. And so we're gonna talk about all of this over the next 4 days. So Natalie's here, Ty is here, Shara's here. Who else? Let's see. Crystal, Mousley. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are all here. Thank you for joining me. And I'm also in the Facebook Live, so let me just double check that and we can get going. So I would love to hear if you had a goal for what you could bring in online this month in the next 30 days, I would love to hear what that is. Do you feel up for sharing? Stacy's here, joining me live in my group. Welcome, Stacy. All right, so we're going to talk about a lot of things over the next 5 days. Day one, we want to make at least $1,000. That's awesome. $1,000 is easy, right? And who makes it hard? We make it hard on ourselves to reach those goals. So if I could show you how to make it more easy, less hard, would you be interested? Natalie says, yes, money comes to me easily. Yes, that's an awesome affirmation. What you might realize is that affirmations alone are not always effective, right? And strategy alone is not always effective. I know that I've had many coaches teach strategy to me over the last few years. And then I found a coach who taught how to combine soul with strategy so that you could break through barriers and really step up as the person that you are meant to be. See, what happens a lot of times is we try to grow these businesses and we try to put our message out there and we try to take those steps forward. And I can say this because I was there. We try to take these steps forward, but if we don't step into the person that we're meant to be along the way, sometimes what is required of us is to step into our potency first and then step up and share our message so that our message can start to attract those people who are here to work with us. And that, I think, is the biggest shift that happened for me, was that I really stepped into my potency. And then I was able to attract those people. Over the last 4 years, I've taken a lot of steps and I've put myself out there, sometimes almost in an embarrassing way. I have built landing pages, I have built ClickFunnels, I have built sales pages, I have built online groups, I have built online classes. But at the end of the day, there was no one there waiting to come in and jump into my container of support for them, because I didn't step up as the potent version that I was made for. And so that's what these 5 days are going to be about, is how you can step into your most potent version so that you can start magnetizing the results that you're after. And the first step in doing this is what we're going to cover today in day 1, and that is really believing in yourself. Because if you can't picture yourself, or if you can't believe in yourself, or if you can't own your gifts, then it's going to be really hard to step up and show up in your full potency. So today's all about that belief practice, really mastering a potent self-belief practice. Because when you can believe in yourself, when you can visualize those results that you want and picture yourself having those things come into your radar, into your circle, then you're going to be able to take those next steps. So then you'll be able to, when you hit the ground running with your strategy, with your 5-day challenge strategy, when you come up to offering free discovery calls, when you come up to putting a message out there on Facebook, on email, on social media, and you actually believe in yourself and who you are, what you stand for, and who you want to call in, you're going to be more likely to do it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would like you to just answer this on your journal, and you can share it in the comments if you'd like. On a scale of 1 to 10, let's say your goal is, actually think of your goal first. I don't want to create your goal for you. So think of the goal that you would like to make in the next 30 days online. Think of a number. Maybe it's a scary number. Maybe it's a number that you have no idea how in the world that's going to happen, but there's a part of you that believes it's possible. There's a part of you that believes it's possible. What would that number be? So let's say for me in May, right, I wanted to make my first 10,000. So let's put that on paper, 10,000. And maybe your goal is plus or minus some, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what your number is, because this is not about comparing yourself to others. This is about your journey. Maybe you don't even know what you want, but maybe there's something that you need. Maybe you need $5,000 to pay off this bill that's hounding you, or maybe you need $2,500 to put down to go buy your laptop, or whatever it is. Maybe you have like a specific goal in mind, or something that you really need. So let's put that on paper as our potent goal over the next 30 days to bring in through our work online. So what happens when you put that number out there, especially if you've never called that in before, if you've never been able to manifest it in 30 days? You can see it happening, but then what happens is that our mind comes in and takes over and sabotages these results from us. So I could use my example, my personal experience with this. So when I first tried to start making money online, I was building a chiropractic office. I had built a thriving chiropractic office, and over the last few years, I've been taking steps. Like every month, I've been taking steps to slowly have less need to be in my office so that I can show up more online. That has been my goal over the last 4 or 5 years. So I'm slowly taking these steps away from my office, right, which was a baby of mine. My office was my baby, and I built it from the ground up. And there were a lot of programs that were running the show about me feeling like I needed to be there for my patients. And then there's the self-sabotage belief system that what are my colleagues going to think of me if I'm trying to retire? What are my patients going to think of me if I try to retire? And all of those thoughts were never allowing me to be potent, because in the back of my mind, if I wanted to show up and try to grow my online business, in the back of my mind, all of those thoughts were like, well, don't say that because someone could come and critique you, or someone might say something, or you might get some hate messages. I'd always be worried about those types of messages that could come my way. And if that is running the show, you won't reach your full potency. So as you hold your vision of the income that you want to bring in the next 30 days, all this stuff is going to come up. You're going to want to figure out, how am I going to do that? And all those negative thoughts, those worries, those fears. I'm not good enough. Who's really going to want to hear me anyways? What I want you to do is, on that piece of paper, underneath that dollar amount, all the things that are coming up, I want you to write them down. All these worries, all these fears, all these insecurities, trying to figure out, like, well, yeah, I want to make $10,000, but I have no idea how. Who's going to pay me anyways? How many clients would I need? That sounds like a lot of hard work. Whatever it is, I want you to write those ideas, those thoughts, those concerns. And I want you to just take a moment and write those down. If there's one that stands out, please feel free to share here with the group and let us know what's coming up for you. So we can't just tell ourselves to think positive. We can't just tell ourselves to read our affirmations and that's going to make everything all better. Because chances are you've been doing a lot of affirmation work already. And I want to ask, is that really making you as potent as you deserve to be, as you desire to be? It's probably helping, and it's probably helped you come really far, but there's something missing. Tomorrow, we're going to talk all about the energy that we need to calibrate to also start attracting our $10,000 or whatever your goal is. But the reason we're not talking about energy today is because there's something that will drive our energy, and that is really how we believe and perceive ourselves to be. So when you look at that list of all of these fears, worries, doubts, insecurities, I want you to just look at them and realize that these are all lies that are holding you back. These are all fake, made up stuff that is keeping you from that next level you desire and, my friend, deserve. So now what we need to do is shift those lies and those worries and those concerns, and we need to shift every single one of them into a phrase or into a new belief or into we need to shift them all. So when you go to, maybe some of you will have a thought of, I'm not good enough. Who's going to listen to me anyways? So then you have to deconstruct that, and you need to come up with the proof that you are going to be heard, so that you get excited and you realize that, the first thing that comes to mind is the proof that nobody's going to want to hear you. But if you shift that and you spend a moment thinking about all the people who need what you have to say, how there's a lot of people out there that are just one step behind you that need your advice, that need your wisdom, that are waiting for someone like you to show up with the right information that you have been holding on to. Your life, your journey, your spiritual path, your entrepreneurial journey has been leading you up to this point where you've learned a lot of things, you have gone through a lot of experiences, you have your desires to help people have been percolating and have been building to this point where it's time, like you can feel it on every cell of your body. It is time to share your message. It is time to get over these blocks. It is time to believe in yourself because people are waiting for you. So does anyone have a particular belief or a concern or a doubt or a worry that's holding them back from being able to put yourself out there, that you want to work on, that we can break through right here, right now? Do you feel like you need to have everything perfect? Do you feel like you need to know exactly how every step along the way is going to unfold? Do you feel that if you start showing up in a bigger and better way, that some people are going to have their feelings hurt, or that you are leaving behind one project for another? Natalie is saying, Natalie is a lawyer and she helps unfulfilled lawyers. And she does that in a more of a woo-woo spiritual way. And so she is holding on to this belief that there's lawyers out there that are not into the woo-woo stuff, or that lawyers in general are not into the woo-woo stuff. Okay. So let's bring Natalie on. Natalie, you feel up for that? I can unmute you and we will chat about this. You are welcome to share your camera if you like, but definitely we want to unmute you. Let me see if I can do that. Okay, you can't watch. Okay, so Natalie can't come on. So let me spend a minute from what I know about you, Natalie, and what I know about this particular topic we can dissect here. So, 1 second. Cancel. Okay. So Natalie's a lawyer, and I'm guessing because she is chatting about lawyers not being into woo-woo stuff, that I'm guessing on Natalie's journey, she has started to be more on the spiritual side, more into the woo-woo side, and she's probably taking the information she's learning for being on a spiritual journey, and she's wanting to blend the two. She's wanting to blend her entrepreneurial business path as a lawyer into spirituality, and that maybe from a broad scale, lawyers aren't into that. My first thought is that maybe they are, just like you. You have stepped into this journey, and while it might not be commonplace to incorporate lawyer, like law, what would that be? Justice with spirituality, that maybe there's a niche of people who are scared to come out of the spiritual closet as a lawyer. So really what is best for you, Natalie, is to go back. If you're trying to help lawyers who are burnt out because you were burnt out, what the best thing to do is go back on your journey as you were diving into spirituality, as you were on your journey learning new things and starting to have these connections and these aha moments that if only this was here this whole time, maybe I wouldn't have gotten so burnt out. So you have to go back to who you were when life was really painful, when your job was really difficult, because these are the people who are needing you now. Like, they are in the shoes that you were in a couple years ago, maybe several years ago, maybe only 6 months ago. but they're in your shoes now. And you have stepped up. You have evolved enough where there are some lawyers who are right where you are, right? You are not here to help every single lawyer. You are here to talk to the lawyers who are burnt out. You are here to talk to the lawyers who are starting to dabble in the woo-woo stuff, but are embarrassed to come out of the spiritual closet, that are worried about what other lawyers are going to think about them if they start talking about meditation and crystals and more of the woo-woo side. So let me know if I'm onto something. You said here you're started to incorporate spiritual intuition into your coaching. You want more lawyers to see the balance and open up to this new world for them. What I'm guessing is go back to where you were before you had spiritual intuition in your practice. And think of how life was like, how business was like before intuition came into your practice. And then once you started utilizing your intuition, how has that helped you? That's the gap where you were, where you are now. And you're here to help the other people who are experiencing this gap in their life and practice. So you have to talk to the gap. You have to talk about how painful this is for you, how painful it was for you, because chances are that if lawyers hear you talking about the painfulness of and the problems and the incongruencies and the struggles that you had over here, and you start telling them, hey, I started meditating every day, or hey, let me teach you how to utilize your intuition, they're going to wake up and they're going to stop in their tracks and they're going to be magnetized by you, because you're talking about something that they're seeing that they have that problem and they want to have that better day. They want to have a better day, but they're stuck because of the gap. You have figured out this gap in your life. Now you go and teach other people how to do the same thing. Now, they're not going to be knocking down your doors, because there might not be a lot of them, but the more you put your message out there, the more you're going to start attracting one or two, and then as you start to talk to these one or two or three people, right, you get on the phone with them and they start telling you things, and you're like, yeah. And as they tell you, as they feel comfortable to share their problems with you, you will take notes and you're like, yeah, I remember when I had that problem, I forgot about it. Then what you do is you use the conversation pieces that you just had with these prospects, and you go and create more content. And you share that information, like, hey, I was talking to my friend Susie, and she was having this issue in her business because she's losing sleep at night thinking about her cases, and she just wishes that sometimes she finds herself praying over her cases or meditating over her cases, and that's not anything we were taught in school. Like, I'm just making up stuff here, but what I'm sharing is the strategy involved behind believing in yourself. Because this gap that you've gone through, from going through the struggle to learning how to overcome the struggles, that is how you have to believe in yourself, of seeing how you've done it, seeing how you've overcome it, and go, wow, I really do know more than I thought I did. I really am here to help people. So you take all that practice and you go out and you help other people close the gap in their life and business. I hope that's making sense. So let's hear from Shara here. Shara, you've tried so many times. This is never going to work. Oh yeah, I've been there too. Tried so many times. This isn't going to work. Shara, are you open to coming on and chatting about that? I'm going to promote you to panelist, And if you would like to open your mic and or your camera, you are welcome to.
Okay.
Hey,
Hello.
you want your camera on? Yes or no?
I tried. It says I'm not allowed. It says you cannot start your video because the host has disabled it. But that's okay.
I made you a
Yeah.
host. If you want to share, I think you can turn it on now, but you don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There you are. Hi.
Hi.
Great to see you today. So I can definitely relate with, I've tried so many times. Why is it going to work this time? So do you want to take a moment and share with us what you have tried, and we can jump into and dissect this heavy thought?
As in like the techniques I've tried, or what do you mean?
So I think that was like a limiting belief that, like it's hard to believe in yourself to make it big because you've been trying for so long. Do you want to talk about that struggle?
Yeah, so I sold my practice 4 years ago with the intention of going to coaching and speaking full time. And it didn't click right away. So then I thought, well, I don't know enough. So then I've like conservatively in 6 years, I've probably spent like $100,000 in multiple coaching programs. And then I realized, well, maybe the topic's wrong, or, and then those other beliefs that you mentioned previously, like, who am I? Why would people listen to me? I wouldn't even stand up in front of my profession until this year. I was picking every other profession to help except for mine. And then, yeah, so that kind of has all happened. And so now that I think I have a strategy or a set path, when I do try to take steps, I observe like 30,000 foot view. I do it probably less prepared because it's almost feeding into the sabotage of, oh, well, look, that didn't work and nothing's worked and it's never going to work.
And what is it that you want to work? What is it that you want to?
Well, I want to help my people.
Who are your people?
So other chiropractors and natural practitioners who are growing their practice, but primarily my focus and specialty is in the mind-body alignment so that your practice grows. So if I can go with that, in my practice, I have had probably 3 or 4 times where we're close to bankruptcy and for multitudes of different reasons. And I live in another country, so I don't have unemployment. I don't have family. I don't have anybody to fall back on. So in some cases, you've got like 30 days. If you don't make it happen, you're on the street kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so techniques and tools that I've observed and learned and watched either through NLP or personal development things, I have seen radically overnight change my practice trajectory as well as results. And so I find that when people are looking to grow their practice or doing practice management, they're like, you can have 2 people doing the exact same thing and one person is getting no results and the other one's barely doing anything and they're flying off the charts. And it's because, as you mentioned, energetically, they're in alignment mentally and with their heart, with their actual desire for the practice. And I find a lot of practitioners, especially if you've been an associate, you have an idea of what should be right or should be the way to practice. And then when you don't truly want that, but you want your practice to look like what you've worked in, there's that push-pull.
Mm-hmm. So I'm hearing you say that you want to coach other chiropractors and naturopaths to become in alignment so that they can grow their brick and mortar offices. And you're trying to build this coaching business online. And there's maybe a push-pull for you in the online space.
I think so. If I look at when I grew my practice, especially in the beginning, it took time to build your own certainty and confidence until you saw the results of your skill and everything. Mm-hmm. And now, like, without a doubt, no problem, like new patients, reactivations, all of that. Like, my practice grows with me sleeping. So it's trying to take that same kind of personal growth I took for that and then translate it to this new.
Mm-hmm. Do you have some clients that you're helping?
Yeah, sporadically. So
Okay.
with the COVID lockdown at the moment, no, because no one's practicing. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, I've up until February, I usually have one or two off and on that I help, but
Okay.
they're like massage therapists, naturopaths, osteopaths,
It's few and far between.
Mm,
And how would you like it to be consistent?
I would like it to be consistent.
Yes. Cool. So let me think here. So let's see. The idea needs to come to me 1 second.
Mhm.
Basically, are you sharing I mean, I see you online all the time. You're sharing this information all the time. Is there something that you feel like you need to be saying online that you're not saying? Like,
Well, today, it's so ironic you talked about energy because I actually have a girl I work with that does some energy work, and we did a big clearing today. And the biggest realization I came up to was I'm very heavy on the business aspect of it. And there's a lot of practice management and all those kinds of people out there, coaches. But that's not actually what makes me different. What makes me different is I delve into who you are as a person, what you actually want, what your mind and heart are aligned to, and then we put that into strategy so that your practice grows to that. So I love being a strategist. I love finding out unique properties of the person so that their love and alignment mixes so the practice just flies. I haven't spoken like that before online.
and what do you think would be different if you did?
I would have no crickets. It would probably be people asking questions.
Yeah, so would you be up for the challenge of going bold today and sharing with us tomorrow what happens after that? Like mixing, right? So you two, just like I have learned a lot of things in the online world on strategy, how to
Mm,
do potent calls to action, how to get people to want your stuff, right? But you have to also speak the message that's really scary to say.
yeah.
And one that's like, it's probably been percolating for a while. You just haven't like actually stood up and said, hey, I'm gonna say this because it needs to be said. And I really
Mm,
think that, if I think that goes back to believing in ourselves. We have to believe that we do stand out and there is something that makes us unique. And when we can believe that that is the ticket to the work that we're here to do in the world, and we can believe in ourselves enough to have other people believe in ourselves, and we show up and we speak that, like, hey, I believe in this project, I want to shout it out from the rooftops,
mm.
then there's less crickets.
Yeah, and I have a 7-day challenge starting today, which
Oh,
this would be good to then fill.
perfect.
So, yeah.
Perfect. So what are you going to do today? What's your potent step that we can hold you accountable for?
Well, I will post about that aspect of growing a practice and then promote the 7-day challenge.
Awesome. Do you want to share more specifically what you're like, what you'll say that you're not used to saying? So you can practice here with
um, I was gonna say no because I don't know what I'm gonna say, but I'm feeling brave, so I'll just wing it. But something to the effect of like when your mind knows, your body will follow. How to get in touch with your true objective or desire so that your practice actually knows where it's going when it's growing. It's willing and ready and waiting to grow for you. But the reason it's not growing or it's going up and down is because you yourself don't know where the hell you're going, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like the perfect coaching advice that you could give to yourself too, in like it's the same concepts, you're just using it for your online business.
Mm.
Yeah, so you can say, and this is what I've tried. I'm only one step ahead of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Is that helpful?
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Great. So hopefully
Yeah.
and this is what this 5-day project is all about, is like finding those little places that we can make potent tweaks to
Mm-hmm.
yield more potent and profitable results. So thank you for for showing up today and letting you be our guinea pig today.
Oh, thank you. I love
Yeah,
it.
great. Well, let us know how it goes and how we can support you. And also, if you want to share the link to your Facebook group or your 7-day challenge, you can do that here in the group messages as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. So does anyone have any questions so far? Let's see. Okay. Great. So I hope that with those 2 examples and with my story, you're seeing a little bit along the lines of what it really takes to be more potent and profitable online is really stepping up. And so what happens is a lot of people think that I'll be more potent and profitable online when I get my next client, or when I have helped someone, or when I've made it big, but what happens is we actually have to put ourselves first there. We have to believe that we are already potent and profitable. We have to believe that we're already have something amazing to offer. We have to live that. And then when we step into our potent self, because we believe in ourselves, because we believe in the magic of what we have to offer, because we believe that our potency is needed, when we believe that when we are in that place, then it's so much easier to step up and to shout it from the rooftops. And when we do that, we start magnetizing those people who want to hear our message. So there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle. This certainly is not everything that I want to teach you. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the energy. But I want to remind you that it's important that you believe in yourself. And it's not just about positive affirmations. So really quick, I'm going to share my screen, and actually I can't do that. So I'm going to do what I have for everyone here. And if you registered, I have your email, so be sure to check your email later. I have a 4-part limiting belief training. So instead of covering that today, I will give you access to that 4-part limiting belief training. Okay, I'm the host now. Shara fixed that. So let me see. I think I can say, okay. So what I want to just share really quick is actually, I don't feel like this is the right place. I feel like you guys can take the message today. I'm going to give you the 4-part limiting belief training on your own, so that if you are curious on how to break through beliefs that you have, you can do that on your own. It probably takes about 30 minutes. And then tomorrow we're going to show up and talk about energy. So be sure to check your emails for the rest of the week, because I'll be sharing additional links. I'll be sharing more tips and tools and whatever else I can do to support you on this journey of becoming more potent and profitable. Remember, all of it starts with believing in yourself, believing in what you have to offer, and then showing up in the energy to receive that of which you desire. So that is what I did last month to make my first $10,000 online, and I want to support you in doing the same. So thank you so much for showing up today. Sorry we were a little late with the technical issues, and hopefully tomorrow we will be right on time. So thanks again. Let's see, we had Okay, cool. So you guys can all collaborate together, and we will talk soon. Thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time.